Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Damn Parenting, your English-speaking parenting podcast from Amsterdam. And we are your hosts, Maren and
Eva.
And who do we have back? Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us.
Wow.
1 year ago, someone threw us the most amazing launch party, and we have Gemma back here from MamaSocial. Hi, Gemma. Thank you so much for coming on again.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. Happy birthday, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't even think of it as a birthday, but okay.
Yes. Hello. Well, at least our launch party, we didn't have cake, but we did. And we also didn't do a full year of no sugar, quite the opposite, because we were under high pressure over this year. But we wanted to take the chance to revisit our party that we had last year, but not only see what's been going on for us this year, but also, of course, checking in with Gemma, what's been going on for her and what the rest of the year is holding up with MamaSocial. So you are in the loop. So I don't want to waste any more air here. So what's been going on with you, Gemma? How are you? How is MamaSocial? What's cooking?
It's a good question. I cannot believe actually that a year has gone by since we did your podcast launch at the last brunch at Canteen 25. And it's crazy that that's been a year. And I feel like so much has changed in the past year, yet so much is the same. So much is still similar. The mission is still exactly the same. The vision is exactly the same. The reason MamaSocial is here remains exactly the same. Still here to connect all those mums out there, people who are needing to build their villages and find their friends. And that is unchanged. What's been going on for the past year? Brunches, more brunches.
Any new locations?
Yeah, so I launched Amstelveen, which was really nice. Started off with that as a kind of pop-up event because I had a lot of demand for it. So I was like, sure, let's go to Amstelveen, see what's going on over there. And that went really well, found a nice venue. And it's such a nice community of mums over there as well. And they were, asking for it back again. So I think I've done 3 or 4 over there now. And that will be a regular brunch. So that's Amstelveen, Haarlem and Amsterdam. On
all
the
over
regular
Amsterdam.
Brunch scene. Oh, yeah.
Can I ask you?
Amsterdam more.
Can I ask you, what's your favorite location?
West. Canary Club.
The Canary Club, yeah. For
That
me,
was
I'm
the
like,
first one, right?
Yeah. Maren went to that one and I was like,
went there,
that's West. I'm not going to do that one. So, okay. It looks phenomenal, I have to say.
And somehow West is just like, those brunches sell out so fast. Like it's such a high demand location.
That's where the cool kids are.
Hey.
Must be. But I think it's like a very family orientated area.
Yeah.
It's also, it's also really accessible, that venue. It's on like good connections, trams and buses, which also helps the situation, I think. But yeah, I've been lucky to, over the past year, work with some really nice venues and come to some really nice arrangements with them and kind of work in have a nice process in the way that we work together. So like Canary Club, for example, that's now actually my oldest venue, the one that I've really used right from the beginning. And it's so easy for me now to work with them. So it really reduces my workload. Once I have a relationship with the restaurant manager and we have the kind of menus locked in and they know exactly my expectations and I know their expectations, we know how the event works. It really reduces the workload from my perspective. So that's been really nice to kind of build relationships with some of the venues around Amsterdam.
Can I ask also then, I mean, I remember when last year you were putting out the questions of like, oh, anyone hit me up with locations or whatever. How much of a struggle is it to find locations that are buggy friendly for new moms?
It continues to be very difficult. So a year ago, I indeed was asking people, please come to me with recommendations. And off the back of those recommendations, actually, I found Hannah's, which is also in West. And that's become a regular brunch venue now. So that kind of worked out really well for me. But that is one of the only new venues I've added this year. I've added a couple actually, but it's one of the new venues I've added this year. It continues to be really difficult. Like I do get recommendations now from the community. People send me DMs. Have you been to this? Have you seen this restaurant? This cafe? But 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, they're just not suitable. Not for the amount of mums that I want at a brunch and the amount of potential strollers that we need, or I want to put a play mat down with the nannies,
Actually, so how many buggies do you plan in for?
20. No.
Serious?
Yeah. In my head, like I always have to expect that all 20 mums that are coming could bring 20 babies. Like I have to hold that expectation. It never happened. Like I think I've had one brunch in Harlem when there was 17, and that's the most babies I've ever had at a brunch. And that was insane. That was a lot of babies. But you kind of have to hold the expectation that it might happen, right? You do. It never has happened. Thank God.
That's what I admire so much about you, just this little piece that you just said of the moms don't have to accommodate the venue, but the venue needs to be suitable for them. And it's not this thing of, again, oh, here, mom, make it work. But when you make it work, so we feel welcome. And this, I think, is also one of the biggest drivers for your events, that moms know that you take care of this and they do not have to worry about, oh, where am I going to park my stroller? How am I going to get through the door? Am I going to sit next to the toilet on the ground? Because that's the only thing where we could we could throw a little mat there. But it's really this whole perspective from you. I want the moms to feel welcome. I do not want the moms to be worried about this. And I want not the moms to feel like they're like second class visitors in this venue. And I think this is so, so nice that you really make sure that everyone who comes there knows they're going to be welcome. They're going to be the star of the show. You want them to be there.
Absolutely. And that is what I really want from venues. I want to work with venues that are interested in the community, like the MamaSocial community.
Yeah.
That like they're not doing us a favor. They're interested in being a part of it. They're interested in being part of something bigger and in supporting the local community out there. It means a lot to me. Unfortunately, this year there was a situation with one new brunch venue that I really hoped was going to go very well, and it seemed like it was going to really work out. And I did my first brunch there, and it quickly unraveled that we were not going to do another brunch there again. And sometimes it has to be trial and error. But the more venues I see and the more brunches I hold, the easier it is for me to gauge whether those venues are going to be suitable or not. And unfortunately, that one wasn't.
So I was assuming by now you'd be kind of doing brunches in Groningen and Maastricht and Rotterdam.
Yeah.
If anything, I think I've seen people asking you, when are you coming to? I think Rotterdam was the last one that I saw. Someone was like, hey, so I am seeing people are probably hitting you up from around the whole country at this stage.
Absolutely. And I think even a year ago, at the beginning of this year, it really was the dream to expand MamaSocial into more and more cities. But ultimately, realistically, MamaSocial is just me. A year and a half later, it is just me. I don't have other people working with me. I do have a 3-year-old who has just started voice school. Because of my personal situation, I haven't had the time, quite frankly, the time or the capacity to be going to other cities and trying to set things up over there. It really remains the dream, and it's something that I have been working on behind the scenes. So this year, whilst I haven't been able to get out to Utrecht, Rotterdam, Den Haag, Hilversum, to actually set up the brunches, what I have been doing is working on how the business model works here in Amsterdam. So I've been using my 2 best venues here in Amsterdam to really speak with the restaurant managers, the nannies, the speakers that I work with, the photographers, and really kind of build a operating procedure, if you will, something that works really, really well here that I can literally just take to the new cities when the time's right. So although I've not actually managed to get to any new cities yet this year, it will happen next year because a lot of the work that needs doing behind the scenes is in progress. So that's exciting. And I think Utrecht will be the first, hopefully early next year.
You heard it here first, people.
Yeah,
and then an exciting thing that I will also be looking into next year is working with hosts. So that's also something else that's important to me. I think MamaSocial is about the community. It's not about me. It's about all the other mums and the community out there. And what I really want is to work with those mums inside of those communities to host the MamaSocial brunches. So I will continue hosting here in Amsterdam for now, but I will be looking to connect with mums in these other cities that may be interested in hosting and having conversations with them. So that will also be coming up probably early next year, which is exciting.
And so this is for the brunches. Now, in the last year, you've actually expanded a lot with different events as well, like even for mummy nights, nearly, I guess would be what it would be called. I think I remember Maren sending some pictures last November or December. You've also had business networking events as well. Do you want to let us know exactly the different kinds of events you've actually been running as well?
Yeah, so I think actually the main one is the Business Mamas networking event, which I've actually done about, I think, 3 or 4 of those now. And again, that, those events kind of happened quite organically in that from the brunches, I was meeting a lot of mums that were part of the kind of MamaSocial community that were running small businesses or had something going on the side. And those mums started to express an interest in having some kind of a networking event where they could get to know each other. And I've never attended a networking event before. And the easy thing with the brunches is that they were built for me, right? So I kind of made them how I wanted them to be. So that was easy. But with a networking event, since I'd never been to one and I never really knew what people wanted from one, I was like, I don't know, let's give it a go. So I did. The first one was quite small, and then over time I've expanded them. The last one, we had 35 mums there, but they've turned out to be really, really nice events. Just an opportunity for mums working in business across all spectrums. I have mums doing all kinds of different things: freelancers, personal stylists, artists, photographers, videographers, lactation consultants, like whatever. Bakers. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, the baker. She brought samples for us. And all these mums just kind of getting together and talking about business, the juggle. Also just an opportunity to talk about what it is that they're doing and where the struggles are and that kind of thing. So that's actually turned into a nice event that will be regular. I did a mini retreat, which was like a little well-being retreat where we did some yoga and Pilates and a sound bath. That was also quite nice. The thing with the pop-up events is that I never really know how they're going to be received, A brunch is very simple, right? You know what you're getting and you know that people want it. But with the pop-up events, it feels like more of an investment for me because I don't know how well received they're going to be. But up until now, it's gone really well. And I've actually got another really exciting collaboration coming up in November, which is going to be an evening event on the 27th of November. And I know a lot of mums have been asking for an evening event. So hopefully this is going to accommodate some working mums out there or mums that can't make the brunches. And I'm actually collaborating with, I think I can tell you, I'll tell you now, collaborating with the Swap Club Amsterdam.
Nice.
They've been doing, or rather she has been doing a lot of sustainable swap clubs in and around Amsterdam over the past year or so. So I met her through the Swap Club because I was going myself, and we really got to talking about doing a collaborative event. It will be a baby toddler clothes swap, and we will have drinks and food there as well. So it will be a real evening affair in West.
Of course.
Locations be announced.
Thank you.
What's the name of the lady?
So that's going to be really exciting.
What's the name of the lady from the Swap Club?
She's called Gokka.
Okay, good to know. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got that coming up.
Around, so that's exciting.
And what was the other ones you had? You had the drinks night that Maren was at, I remember. And if anything, Maren sent me a picture and I'm like, I know that person and that person and that person and that person.
Yeah, I did a couple of cocktail evenings. They were also nice. They were nice. The Amsterdam one was really nice, actually. There was quite a few people there in the end. I think I sold 35 tickets. And it was really nice, just a different vibe to brunch, because there's no babies there, obviously, which immediately changes the vibe. Mums only. It was good. For me, these pop-up events, they're nice and I will continue doing them. But MamaSocial will always be about the brunches. For me, that is what's important. It's the space for connections, and anything that spins off of that is an added bonus, I think.
Speaking of connections, can you let us know? So you've been doing this for about 18 months now already. Have you have you had actually any massive connection that you're like, oh my God, this person has to be in my life. This is amazing.
Have you finally made friends from your brunches?
I have made friends. I have. It's sad really now to think back about my early motherhood journey and how lonely I was. Now knowing that all these other people were out there all along, I don't want any other mum to feel that way or have to go through that. I had no idea how many amazing women were out there doing the same thing. And the place is absolutely littered with them. All we've got to do is find them and bring them together. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of amazing mums. So for me, yeah, I've definitely made friends through MamaSocial. I've more than made friends, in fact, because I feel like now I have a couple of really close friends that I met through MamaSocial, all that live locally to me, or, you know, these close friends, they do live locally to me, which is really nice, with kids of a similar age, which I'm feel very fortunate for. And even beyond that now, I have circles of acquaintances, you know, people that like, they're not amazing friends, but like, we'll always say hi to each other on the street. We'll stop and have a quick chat. We know each other's stories a little bit. We know where their kids are at school or whatever. And that's community, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what it is. Those people, they don't
these
have
little
to be.
sprinkles, right? It's like the little salt on top, the little sugar on top.
That is what the village looks like.
Yeah.
That's what the village looks like. I was cycling down the street the other day and I saw a girl that I know from from coming to the brunches. She's been to a few and we're definitely on first name terms now. And she's met my son and I've met her daughter. And I was like, calling her name, waving to her down the street. And, you know, it's little moments like that. I was cycling around like, look at me now. If you'd have told me this 2 years ago, I would have never thought that I'd be waving at people down the street, you know, like... For me, that's what a village looks like, you know. I always remember you guys saying with Naomi on another podcast, like your village doesn't have to be like your immediate friends and family. It can be your cleaner, or it can be like the woman in the shop, like all this kind of stuff. And that's now really how it starts to feel, you know. For me, like my community has really been built, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, I'm sure there's many of us out there, many moms from our international community who are actually very appreciative of the efforts that you put in, because they're always beautiful affairs. Like you really put in such a gorgeous, it's your personality that I always find, because it's like the pink roses, the soft decorations, you always get the little goodie bags, like, and it's always such a genuine place to be. And it always feels like, yeah, I mean, you might as well start hosting them in your home sometimes, because it does kind of, you never feel like you're properly in like, here's a restaurant and this is a business. It's like, no, this is me and this is us together. And it's the fact that you also kept it. I'm sure like you could easily sell like double the tickets for all your events. And the fact that you keep it small and you're like, no, there's a purpose, there's a reason. And I keep it like this because it's to be an intimate affair where we can talk to each other, not like, as you say, like the business networking thing, which is a different thing. You're in a different mindscape, but the brunches are, this is a calm space and, you know, let's connect on a deeper level. And speaking of which, you have people who join you as well to take care of the little baby so that mom can eat a warm food. So do you want to let us know a little bit about how that's going with people that you're working with?
Yeah, definitely. So from the very beginning with MamaSocial, it was very important to me that I would have a couple of nannies come along. And the purpose of that would just literally be because I remember myself how wonderful it would have been to have someone hold my baby whilst I drank my coffee, quite frankly. And so I thought just to be able to have that there and that kind of opportunity to have a couple of nannies and a play mat with a few toys, because we all know what it's like when you've got a wiggly baby or a wiggly toddler and they just want to stretch, they need something to occupy them. Those things were really important to me. So I was very, very fortunate in the early days to work with Bryony and Stacey from Bumble and Tumble, who most people know. They actually came to my last brunch at Canary Club. It was so great to have them there. It felt like things went full circle. So they were very fortunate to take a bit of a chance on MamaSocial in the beginning, because none of us really knew how it was going to work. And they took a chance on me and we worked together for quite a few months and it was really nice. Things changed for them from a business perspective, and it also started changing for me from a business perspective. We still remain friends and they're the most supportive, wonderful people. Since then, I have started working with Charlie Cares, which has been a really nice progression for me. I have a partnership with them now, which is exciting. And through that, I work with the same nannies regularly. So I guess most people know how Charlie Cares work, and it's like an app and you can find your nannies. The agreement with myself and Charlie Cares was that I would work with the same nannies at every brunch, which I do. So I now have a small pool of nannies that work with me regularly, and they're amazing. They're great people. They're wonderful. And the mums love having them there. You know, like it's just a little bit of something extra. And they're also great at what they do. So they can really kind of see outside the box. Like they're kind of scanning the room. Is there a mum that's like trying to juggle a baby and a fork at the same time? And they'll run over and be like, let me take the baby for a few minutes. And I think it's a nice touch.
I think it's a super touch. I mean, yeah, as you say, I think every one of us will have had that experience where we're sitting somewhere, even at home, we're still sitting there trying to struggle it. And you always dream about having something like, I mean, even to this day, I still dream of having hot toast. And it's so simple, but it's just, I mean, this is a reality check. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what the other thing is as well? Like it completely depends on what kind of a mother you are. And I was the type of mother which I would never give him to somebody else to hold when he was a baby. I would be so frightened that he was going to cry or I just didn't. I had that kind of anxiety in me where I just wanted to hold him all the time, which is also okay. But at the same time, I never really had the opportunity to try giving him to a nanny. So that's also quite nice, I think, to have the opportunity to be like, let's give it a go because I'm right here anyway.
Yeah. It's a safe space to practice, right? So that's also an invitation if any mom out there listening and was doubting, is this a place for me to go? Now you know there's same faces, same places, and this is a safe space for you to try these little things. How does it feel for, I don't know, 2 minutes? Just try it, have a sip of coffee, and then maybe next time it's 4 minutes, and maybe next time you're already entering the venue. Here's my baby, take it.
Absolutely. And do you know what? Like it is a safe space. And I have mums that come for brunch and they stay for half an hour. That's all they can manage. That's fine. They come an hour late. That's also fine. Like if you have a ticket, your space is there for you. No matter how long you're there, what you can manage, how you turn up, none of that matters. Like you have a ticket. There's a seat there for you. There's a place for you at this brunch, however that looks to you, however it needs to be.
So a year on, you've now had networking events, cocktail events, pop-up events for taking care of mom. You're now expanding into Amstelveen. You've got Amsterdam and Haarlem well under your wing, I'm sure. You've got your favorite spots. You've got growing spots. I was wondering, do you notice a big trend in new places opening up?
As in?
Like the venues themselves, because sometimes I feel like I walk past a place and here's a new cafe and you're like, oh, okay. So does that kind of impact you to be like, oh, I have to go back here to look at this new spot because how is this going to work out? Or do you feel like you want to stick with?
So I think, do you know what? Probably at the beginning of this year, I was really keen to add more and more restaurants to my resume. Like I really wanted to have a lot of diversity because I thought it was also a really nice way to show mums other baby-friendly restaurants, which is in fact true. But in reality, it's hard. It can be a baby-friendly restaurant, but that doesn't mean they can accommodate 20 mums and babies all at once. So new places have opened up and I've been told like they're baby friendly and I've gone to have a look and, you know, I've sometimes had a chat, got as far as having a chat with the restaurant manager and it's not the right place. Ultimately, what I'm learning is big independent places are the best. So like they're not part of a chain. They are independent, small businesses, but they have large venues. Those are the places that can really accommodate these kind of events comfortably and professionally, like in a good way. So yeah, I'm always tempted to go and look at new places, but I've kind of just learned now that to have a small portfolio of really, really good places is way more valuable than having a large portfolio of okay places.
It's a good learning skill, especially as you're setting up your business and you're now a year and a half into your journey. So, I mean, you're learning quite a lot, I'm sure, in such a short amount of time with everything that you have to go through, especially in a different country than where you're originally from.
The good thing is also that you have really set the tone of quality with the first brunches so high and good that people will follow you and people will always support you because they know if you set something up, they feel welcome and they go with you because it's like this symbiosis now that you want to support the moms, but equally they want to support you. So you've really built up this nice relationship with the community now where we know if Gemma goes somewhere, she has vetted the place and we can trust her. And equally, we also know if she notices it doesn't fit for us, she's going to cut the ties loose and we're not going to go back there. So it's really like
the
more you
trip
talk about
advisor.
But also it's really like also it shows again that we as moms are not fully integrated in just in the bigger picture, and that we're still dependent on these few little places and spaces and people that really put the effort in to make us feel at home and make us feel welcome, and that it's not a given. And just because a cafe opens up and then they're like, oh yeah, well, we are kid friendly for 2 people, and then that's what we can take. Or we are kid friendly here is like a secondhand IKEA chair in the back next to the bathroom. This is where you can park your stroller, kind of. So this is really it. I mean, it shows that we still have a way to go, but at the same time that we do have these little oases and in these little places that you find for us, you source for us, you vet for us, and then we know we can trust in your quality, and we can trust in the mark you said, and we can trust in your expectation that you want everyone to feel safe, feel welcome, and not like a second class citizen and like, oh, here, find your little edge and don't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is just, as soon as you get outside of Amsterdam as well, you're in Amstelveen, Haarlem, Utrecht, it becomes even harder. It becomes even harder to find those baby-friendly locations that can accommodate like groups of mums as well. But yeah, there's a way to go with this kind of thing. And just because we're parents doesn't mean that we don't want to go out
take part. Yeah.
Yeah, with like sometimes that might look like 4 other mums because it's someone's birthday or it's a special occasion. Like we've got to fit in somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, it's been one hell of a year for MamaSocial. And I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people who'll be listening saying, I made a friend. And you know what? If you guys have been to MamaSocial and if you have met someone that is now your best bud, your walking partner, your little one's best friend, do hit us up on Instagram, share your news with Gemma. Let her know all her work and all her effort is actually not just, being inspiring for many other people and being an enjoyable and being a place where finally we're accepted and we can go somewhere and enjoy ourselves. But actually, this is fueling the friendships for many years to come here in Amsterdam for many of us. So do hit us up and let us know your stories.
Yeah, I would love that. The best thing really about the brunches now is like seeing people swapping numbers or coming along to the next brunch with a friend that they met at the previous brunch. That's always quite nice to see that. I love hearing those little stories. I'd like to hear more of them.
I have a story like at the first brunch that I went to. Hi, Anya, if you're hearing this, I know that you listen to every episode. Shout out the first time. So yeah, I have met a friend at the first brunch that we both went to, and we're still in contact and we're still friends. We don't see each other so often, but I know that she's listening and I know that she's following you. So this is just a nice, reminder that these friendships, they stick. And even though you're not in your lives every day, you still know that you do have built up a relationship with someone that you can just hit up a message and have this little sprinkle in your life and check in and just know what's going on and not be so alone on this whole journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And more and more really new mums are coming with newborns, which I love. I need to find out more where they're finding out about MamaSocial, to be honest, because I'd love to hear where all these like really brand new mums are finding out about MamaSocial. But seeing them come to brunches with tiny babies and those mums bond immediately. You know how like raw and new everything is at that point. Like we remember that, right? Like to sit at a table with 4 other mums that are exactly in that space. It's special.
And as your website, mamasocialamsterdam.com says, you're not meant to do it alone. So, and I mean, that is the be all and end all for MamaSocial in itself. So we want to thank you again for helping us launch our podcast a year ago. We're trying to spread words and you're making connections, and we are part of each other's villages. And we're very much a major support fan of MamaSocial, having been to many different events that you've thrown over the last year and a half. It's so mad to think it's been that short a time, but it's made that much impact.
Thank you. And likewise, I'm a big fan of yours as well. You ladies are doing amazing things. I can't believe how many episodes you're churning out, and everything is so valuable. Some amazing guests, and always recommending Dumb Parenting Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if you out there listener also want to support us, then make sure you like and subscribe to our internet channel, Instagram channel. We're all over the internet. Damn Parenting Podcast, also on Spotify. Give us a follow, give us a 5-star rating, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from. We are coming out with an expert episode every Wednesday, and here and there we're also sprinkling some little damp chats from Eva and I into the mix. We have a vast library of episodes already out there covering all kinds of different topics, from navigating the Dutch medical system to psychological topics that parents are stumbling upon, relationship topics. You will find an episode for you, I'm very sure. And if you find one that you really click to, then make sure that you share it with your friends. And also, if you see questions popping up from the community, maybe think back, was there an episode that the Damn Parenting ladies did? And share this with the person that has the question in a WhatsApp group, Facebook group, at a coffee chat, at a MamaSocial chat. So just make sure that you spread the word about us so we can keep up doing this work, supporting the community, connecting parents with information, with the experts that we're bringing on. And we will hear you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.